Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's my last week of work. It's crazy how time has flown. It's really overheated, so I'm going inside and we will continue this. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm back with another life update video. So it's nearing the end of co-op number 3, my third internship as part of the professional practice program for University of Cincinnati DAP. And it's just crazy that I'm more than halfway done with the program at this point, but it has been an amazing ride and I'm so excited to dive into the details of this summer. It's been a long time since I filmed a video. I'm very rusty at sitting in front of a camera and just speaking, but we're gonna roll with it. I'm gonna do this single take. JK, I'm doing multiple takes. Let's go. Little change of location. I'm filming from my car, partly because I'm paranoid that my roommates can hear me, and partly just because there's really bomb lighting. So just like last time, I've got my list. Somehow I've kept this same piece of paper for years at this point, but it has all the different topics I'm gonna cover in this video, so let's just dive right into it. So the first thing is my age. So just like last internship, I'm 20 years old, and the current date is August 10th, 2020. It's the dog days of summer and it's burning hot, so I'm gonna speed this up so I don't overheat. So the next topic is my location. As you can see from the title of the video, I'm back in Logan, Utah. So when I first started the internship program, I was thinking like I wanted to go to 5 different places on my 5 different internships, just for like a maximum range of like different company experiences and different types of internships and different locations obviously. But I ended up going back to my second internship location for my third internship. But I'm actually like really glad it ended up working out like that. And the way that happened was because of a lot of different factors, but it all boils down to coronavirus. Okay, let me just get into the story. So first of all, I had an internship in New York City at MKG, an experiential design firm, and I was super excited about it. But it ended up getting canceled just because it's all about like designing for events, and all of these events were getting canceled in mid-March. So they're like, yeah, we don't really have the capacity to take interns anymore. So I continued with the job search, and then I ended up getting a job at Munchkin. They design baby products and they're in LA, and I was also really excited about that. But then the University of Cincinnati was basically like, we don't want any of our students taking internships that require relocation just because we don't want to be like liable. So that job also fell through. And so at that point I was like kind of out of options, and then I was like, wait, my second internship was so good, I should ask if I can come back. At first I said no because they were all working remotely, so it just wouldn't really make sense for them to take an intern. But then like at the beginning of June they all came back to the office, so then my manager reached out to me and he was like, hey Sabrina, like we actually would be willing to take you as an intern. And it all ended up working out, and now here I am in Logan, Utah. So yeah, that was a lot of details. Sorry for getting to the nitty-gritty, but this is also for future Sabrina, so I just want to remember like how this all happened. It's pretty once in a lifetime when, you know, a global pandemic hits Earth. Yeah. Okay, so the next topic is co-op company. I'm back at Blackstone Products. I'm actually wearing a Blackstone shirt. It's GM for Griddle More. I'm not wearing like a location sweatshirt like I was in my last 2 videos, but it is way too hot for that. I went back to Blackstone and it was absolutely amazing. There's nothing like already knowing the company culture, the programs that you need to use, the workflow, where everything is. It's just like unparalleled, being able to hit the ground running like as soon as you start. The next question was the area of design. It's the same company, so it's the same area of design. They do griddles and like a lot of griddling accessories, so it's all in the sphere of like appliances, specifically outdoor cooking. It's like really niche, but I kind of love it. I feel like there wasn't a lot of industrial designers in that field until recently, so there's definitely a lot of room for like innovation, making everything work better. Words. So next up is job responsibilities. So similar to last time, I was doing like the whole industrial design process, from like sketching and ideation to moving into more refined concepts, going into CAD, doing like a ton of 3D modeling, and then doing some prototyping like 3D printing, and then having designs go to market. But this time I came on as a junior designer rather than a design intern. exciting. So I had a little bit more responsibility, so I got to work on like some griddle units versus last time where I was primarily focused on griddle accessories. I don't know how much I can say about it, but I was assigned to this project that was pretty high importance with like a quick timeline, so I could see it on market a lot sooner than expected, and that was really exciting to have so much responsibility on like such a significant project. The next area is skills gained. So I would say I don't think I gained like new skills, but I strengthened the ones that I started gaining last time. My SolidWorks got a lot better, my keyshot skills, my hand sketching skills, and then a lot of like I feel like soft skills and career skills that you're not gonna get just from school, like how to resolve conflict in the workplace, because those are just like handy skills to have like in life and in the office. Enough about work, onto my life. So the next question was, what is my living situation? I'm living in an apartment really close to the Utah State University campus. So it's actually like really handy because I can walk over to campus, go on runs like around campus. It's way closer to my job than before, like I'm actually in town. It's kind of a good change from the Airbnbs I've lived at before. It's nice because I've got like a lot of roommates who are all my age, like they're all college students. I live in a house with 6 other girls in my apartment, and then there's 2 other apartments like that, so I guess there's 21 people here, but I never see anyone besides those 6. Okay, so the next topic area on this list is my social situation. I just gotta say it was amazing. Come to think of it, I guess I spent most of my time with like 3 people out here. Do I name drop? But the great part about coming back to a location that I've already been before is that I already have like a whole social life. I was a little worried though because like a lot of the people that I knew out here were like Utah State students that I met through the Newman Center, which is like the Catholic center here on campus. And I was like, oh, everybody's gonna be gone for the summer, but everybody was not gone for the summer, so it ended up being really good. Like I went on trips, I went on spontaneous adventures, and I met some new people too. So that leads right into the next topic, which is exploration. So let me just get into some of the many adventures that happened this summer as I was exploring Utah. If you don't know, Utah is the most beautiful place on earth. Not an opinion, but an objective fact. It's like tucked in the heart of the mountains, so you can access like canyons and rivers and mountains and hiking trails, and if you drive a few hours, like national parks, and it's just literally the best place on this earth. I actually made a list of like all my explorations this summer, like when I went, where I went, and who I went with. Sneak peek inside my journal. And it's just like I filled up this whole, so one of the big things was like the first weekend that I got here, like the one after I moved in, like after my first week of work, I went to Moab National Park with some people from church, and it was like life-changing. Like I feel like the amount of times I said, I can't believe this is real during that trip is infinity, too many times to count, because I was just like, this is ethereal, like how is this earth, like how do we get to live here, like it's so beautiful. We went to the Canyonlands, we camped at Goose Island campground, I went on a like off-roading adventure. It was just absolutely beautiful. We went to like that one famous Delicate Arch, and I died while hiking because I have 0 athletic ability, but it was definitely worth it for the views. Okay, I'm just looking through this list at so many different things. Like I went kayaking at First Dam, I did a few different trails in Logan Canyon, I went to Salt Lake City a few times, went and saw East High again, went and saw the Real Life Up House, went thrifting, went to a different canyon called Green Canyon, this other hiking trail that took like 5 hours straight upwards, went to this lake called Manaway, had a beach day there, went cliff jumping at Porcupine Reservoir, went to the Utah State Capitol, went to this really beautiful cathedral in Salt Lake City, went to another canyon called Blacksmith Fork Canyon, hiked the Wind Caves, a classic, went to this really beautiful lake called Tony's Grove, which had like the most beautiful wildflowers I've ever seen, went to Bear Lake, went to another hiking trail. Yeah, if I read you this whole book it would take ages, but it's just been an unreal summer. This planet is so beautiful. And the last exploration that I wanted to talk about was about Zion National Park. I actually just got back yesterday because this was my last weekend here, which is super sad. I haven't processed it yet, but for the last weekend I wanted to do like a spontaneous getaway. Like we literally planned it like 48 hours before going. Well, we didn't even plan it, we were just like, we're going, and then we showed up. But we spent like a night car camping and another night like actual camping, and like hours and hours hiking through this amazing river flowing through a canyon called the Narrows, and it was just like the most magical experience. I'm just so blessed. Insane! Are you vlogging? Okay, so the next category on the list is visitors. I've only really had one visitor here, and it was my grandma because, again, like last time, we did a road trip across the country and came here together, so if that counts, she was my visitor. But my family is coming in 3 days, my mom, dad, and sister, and we're going to be sort of doing like a road trip across America on our way back and stopping at some national parks, and I'm really excited to see them. Plus, my mom and sister have not seen Logan before, so I'm going to give them a little tour of this town that has basically become my home. Oh my goodness, it's so hot in this vehicle right now. So the next category is visits elsewhere. So not counting like Moab and Zion, the other trip that I've been on is I went home. So not last weekend, but the weekend before, I went home to Michigan. I went for my sister's grad party. And the only people that knew were my dad and sister, but my mom didn't know, and all the family that were there didn't know either. And so I show up, everybody was so surprised, and it was like a 36-hour visit, but it was the absolute best. It was like a super big day for my sister, and I'm so glad that I got to spend it with her. Plus, it's always good to see family unexpectedly, especially after like a whole summer apart, so it was just, yeah, it was really amazing to be home. The next category is pros and cons in general. I feel like I went over this in my last video, but it's like a lot of pros and I really can't see any cons. One of the things that I'm especially grateful for though is that I like had the chance to come out here, like even in the middle of all the coronavirus craziness, especially because like the alternative would have been like staying home and doing like this alternate experience, which involves like working on your website and your portfolio and like doing self-learning and stuff. And I did do some of that like in May, which was like the month that I was home before this internship, but I can't imagine having to do that all summer. I mean, some of my friends who had to go through that are probably watching this right now, and I'm sure it was a great learning experience, but I'm sorry. The next category is significant events. I mean, besides my life being utterly changed by the beauty of Utah, I can't think of like one specific significant event. It's been so good, and I feel like I've been growing in my faith, growing in love for other people, love for myself. It's just been it's been the best, and I'm really blessed. Okay, and the last question is, would I return? Let me just rewind it back to my last video to answer that question. Would I return? Yes, 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 yes. Yes. And that just about wraps it up. Be sure to drop a like, drop a comment, please subscribe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!